Let's talk about something real today. Something that so many people, especially the ones who are growing, who are leveling up, eventually face. At some point, you stop trying to be likable. You stop trying to fit in, you stop trying to make everyone comfortable with who you are, and suddenly people don't know what to do with that. Like you start to speak louder, you start walking taller, you start taking up space that you have spent years shrinking out of. And that's when you start to hear it. Like you are too much, too intense, too ambitious, too emotional, too confident, too something. But let me tell you something. You were never too much. You were just too real for people who were comfortable staying small. Too much is a label, okay? That's all it is. It's the label people slap on you when your energy makes them uncomfortable, okay? When you raise your standards, they call you difficult. When you demand respect, they call you intimidating. Like when you protect your peace, they call you selfish. Like when you stop settling, they call you too picky. But what they really mean is you remind me of what I'm not doing. Like you make me question my own comfort zone. You make me see what I could be if I stopped playing small. And that scares people because it forces them to look at themselves, and not everyone is ready to do that. Like you will hear it often when you start growing. You have changed. And they will say it like it's an accusation. But what they really mean is you have stopped shrinking. Like you stopped lowering your voice just so someone else wouldn't feel insecure. You stopped saying yes when you meant no. You stopped being available for people who were never there for you. You stopped apologizing for wanting more. And now they don't know where to place you because the version of you that they could control, it's gone. The version of you that played small so others could feel big, it's gone too. And that's not arrogance. That's evolution. That's growth. That's self-respect finally speaking louder than fear. Here's the truth no one wants to say out loud. Too much is exactly how goals are achieved. Too much discipline is how you change your life. Too much focus is how empires are built. Too much self-belief is how boundaries are formed. Every person who has ever accomplished something great was once called too much by people who gave up too early. Too driven, too obsessed, too passionate, too different. But that's the point. Average doesn't understand extraordinary. Okay, comfort doesn't understand commitment. Mediocrity doesn't understand momentum. And that's okay. Because your journey is not a group project. You don't need the world's permission to go all in. Here's something you have got to understand if you want peace. Someone else's discomfort is not your responsibility to fix. You are not here to make everyone feel okay about your growth. Okay, you are here to live your purpose fully, fiercely, unapologetically. Okay, if your ambition makes someone uncomfortable, that's not your cue to tone it down. Okay, that's their cue to rise. And if your confidence triggers them, that's not a sign you should dim your light. That's a sign they should stop hiding in the dark. Okay? Your responsibility is to your vision, your peace, your future self. The one who will thank you for every time you chose power over approval. Okay? Let's redefine what too much really means. Okay? Too much is waking up early when everyone else is sleeping. Too much is studying when everyone else is partying. Too much is saying no to distractions so you can say yes to your destiny. Too much is walking away from drama because you value peace more than attention. It's not arrogance, it's not ego, it's discipline, it's focus, it's clarity. Too much is what happens when you finally understand your worth and you stop negotiating it. So yes, be too much, okay? Because being too much is exactly what separates the dreamers from the doers, okay? Here's what they don't tell you about choosing yourself. It's lonely at first. It's uncomfortable, it's quiet, because not everyone who started with you can go with you. Not everyone who cheered for you, for your potential, can handle your power. But once you stop looking for approval, something beautiful happens. You start attracting the right people, the ones who don't find you too much. They find you inspiring. They match your energy instead of resenting it. They respect your boundaries instead of testing them. And those are the people who will help you rise even higher. So if you have ever been told you are too much, too emotional, too intense, too confident, too focused, I want you to remember this. You were never too much, okay? You were simply in the wrong room. You were surrounded by people who hadn't yet learned to see the power in authenticity. But that doesn't mean you should shrink, because the moment you dim your light to make someone else comfortable, the world loses the fire that only you can bring. You weren't born to be mild. You weren't made to be quiet or palatable or small. You were made to take up space, to make noise, to leave an impact. And if that makes people uncomfortable, let it. That's not your cue to soften. That's their cue to rise. So be too much, unapologetically, relentlessly, without permission, because too much is exactly what it takes to outgrow average and step into extraordinary. And this was the message of today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. And that's it. I see you in the next video. Bye!